This homie made a video. I played Genshin Impact for 700 hours to find its flaws. I've been so critical of Genshin Impact lately, and after this video, honestly, I'm probably going to stop talking about my opinion on the game, unless Fontaine is the absolute drizzling shit. Hopefully it's not, but I figure maybe we could watch this, see what this homie says, because he's supposed to be new to the game, and find out what he's saying.
I beat Genshin Impact. A bold statement?
Genshin Impact beat you, dog.
I did it. A bit over 4 months ago, I started playing Genshin Impact for the first time. And looking back at my first time experience, it is funny to see what points I was focusing on. Like, remember when I was wondering if the reason why the healing statues have a limit is because it is going to be a time gate later? Well,
I did not know.
Why is it there? So yeah, 4 months later, I can say that after crawling through this very confusing hole, I came out on the other side with all the major story quests complete, a few reputations maxed out, quite a few 5-star characters on my account while staying free to play, and with the final floor of the Spiral Abyss cleared. And that's all while amassing 700 hours played.
700 hours? Rookie numbers,
dog. Every time I
dog.
talked about Genshin, people mentioned that I am overly positive about everything. But
that's because you're new.
That's because it was all a setup for this moment. Because today we are
this
not
is when he
talk
shits
about
on the game.
Amazing combat or the
Yo,
great
Fist Bump
events.
Duchess, welcome
We
in.
are
How are
going to
you?
Talk about the garbage, and that goes for both the gameplay and the story.
How are you today, Duchess?
So
What's going on?
strap up and get ready because it's not often
strapped.
you can see me mad or disappointed. But today is gonna be one of those days. Just like it goes for every new Genshin player, my journey started with the story. By
Covering
all
my
means,
ears?
the story is the true
you gotta hear
raw
him out.
experience.
Hear him out.
If Genshin does anything at all, it is telling stories for their characters.
Ay.
And that's for the better or much worse.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Previously, you might have heard me saying that Genshin has some of the best stories told in gaming.
It does,
which is
some
a
of them.
statement I
Very
do
true,
believe is
very, very true.
To give you some examples without any major spoilers, Raiden had some...
Yo, I will say this. No funny shit. I've said this before on stream. The Archon quest for Scaramouche as a whole, as a total, is one of my favorite gaming experiences ever, period. I think that was top tier, perfect. The only thing I was annoyed about was the after the Scaramouche fight, the story dragged on for about an hour and a half. You could have wrapped it up in 20 minutes. That I didn't like. Also, I remember wasn't the biggest fan of Act 4, but overall as a whole, it was top tier, 10 out of 10. I wish I can replay that storyline again for the first time ever. I loved it. So all content post-rating cutscenes has been ass. I don't know about that. I think that's unfair to Dendro. Not Dendro. I think that's unfair to Sumeru. One time I'm ready to shit on Genshin Impact. No. Listen, we allow Ethan doesn't back me up. I'm just saying, like, if you want to talk characters, like, okay, we have to have an honest discussion here. Sumeru, in terms of characters, has been an L. I'm sorry. Candace, L. Tainori, cool. Sino, L. Nahida, goated. Nahida's goated. Alhaitham, W. Who else did we get? Dia, L. Major L. I'm sorry to tell you. Fucking massive L. That's not even a debate. Scaramouche is cool. Scaramouche is definitely dope. Farazan, I put her in the L column simply for the fact that she is not a character unless you have C6. And that's fucked up. I hate that philosophy. Am I missing anything? Like, the Sumeru characters have been legitimately so because of their philosophy going into either you have to play them in this specific niche style or they won't fucking function, Dia, or they're just super mid, their kits are whack, and the 4 stars need to be C6. Mika, not that good. Not that good. Sorry to tell you. Fucking Mika, even with Eula, is mid as hell, C6, so... I love Sumeru so much. I like Sumeru. I think I'll love Fontaine a lot. I hope so. Collei is mid. Collei is definitely mid. Kaveh is a massive W. Kaveh is a massive W. I think the highlights of the Sumeru characters are Nahida, Kaveh, Alhaitham, and maybe I'm missing someone by accident. But, you know, again, this is the last time I'm shit-talking the game, because after this I'm not talking about the state of the game anymore, but because I know I'm shitting on it and people love it. But, yeah, it's been an L. I think story-wise, great. Character gameplay design, I think it's been mid. But I think the side story quests are amazing. They fucking introduced R&R. Isn't that like a 50-hour quest? I'm not doing that. You will never catch me doing the Yoimiya side quest part 2. Not happening. Just throwing it out there.
Some really strong points. Chasm has an excellent story with even better side quests, and Sumeru has some incredible hits, especially the Hida's quest, which is simply referred to as the Loop. That one was amazing.
That one was crazy.
But while these big moments in the story are amazing, the way you get there can be painful.
I haven't collected all of the things.
The best example is Inazuma. And here, just know that I am going to spoil the very beginning, which, to be honest, as you'll see, is gonna be totally fine. When you arrive in this beautiful region, in order to get to the great parts of the story, you have to run around and get a pass that lets you freely walk around. To get it, you first have to run around and help people deal with taxes for 3 hours. You then have to learn about the conflict between the local houses for the next 2 hours. Then things get a little bit more interesting as you learn about who Raiden is, before it gets to the part where you set up fireworks for 4 hours. Honestly, I know there were more chores in between these points. But my brain blocked out the memories because it's trying to protect me. What I know as a fact is that there was a total of 10 hours of setup before you got to the great part of the story of the region. Which
the game is notorious, like Genshin, Hoyoverse writers, at least in Genshin, I won't say in Star Rail or Honkai Impact, because I feel like in both those games there's not a wasted second, especially Honkai Impact from what I've been up to. There's a lot of reading, but all of it's relevant, at least, again, what I'm up to. Dude, they love filler content. They're like Naruto, where there's 300 filler episodes and 400 normal episodes. It's absolutely annoying. I get it. I'm illiterate. I'm stupid. I read too fast sometimes. It bothers me. Bro, there was no reason after you body Scaramouche that the quest had to go on for another hour and a half. Like, that tilted my soul, bro. I was like, can we finish? It's 4 in the morning. It's 5 a.m. I want to go to bed. It just blows my mind. Like, that bothers me. They definitely just add filler dialogues to the events, to the story, and it's like, bro, it's not needed. It's not fucking needed. So I agree on that 100%.
It wouldn't be an issue if the payoff was godly. But truth be told, specifically in Inazuma, the finale was simply really good. But there is no way this can justify 4 hours of setting up fireworks.
I think the
I know they
Inazuma
were
finale is
important
valid.
because they were used to distract the guards, but 4 hours?
4 hours of you and me as dumbass is too much.
The entire Commission War. A massive war that is supposed to shape the future of this region.
That cutscene was crazy.
Limitations, the game only shows us a 5v5 battle. So yes, sometimes the game can
I don't care.
Really
I still like that.
On the immersion, but that's not the point for now. The point is, sometimes the story can drag a lot.
Yeah, not sometimes, all the time.
For 2 reasons. First of all, Genshin relies on their gacha system, which means one thing. They have to promote their characters, which is how a lot of the time you end up with a lot of characters who are forced into a story. Not because they would necessarily enhance the story experience, but because it is a 5-star character. They have to give them as much spotlight as possible. In my opinion,
I don't know if I enjoyed Inazuma a lot. Mondstadt, Liyue was dope, but I think Inazuma's story was crazy.
Should have been her own character quest.
And Sumeru,
there was no reason to force her into the Archon quest so brutally. And I do believe that might have soured the character for some people, which later got saved because she's a really good DPS. Thankfully,
that's what up, Wolfie?
Realized that forcing characters into the story no matter what.
We're watching. I played Genshin for 700 hours to find its flaws, and this is our critiquing video essay. And then after that, I'm never speaking about the state of the game until Fontaine again.
Is not a great idea. And so for some of the new characters, instead of just forcing them into the main story,
bothers me,
it seems like they either put them into events, which usually get their own stories, or for the 4 stars they give them the hangout quests. But then there is the other issue that Genshin has when it comes to its stories, and it's still a really big one.
Was
it is an issue that stayed in the game
in the main quest at all in Sumeru?
And that's the fact that
I don't know if I ever met her.
Conversation you are in, be it a big Archon quest
or a
lead up to what's happening in a region. In the vast majority of cases, they say a lot.
Nope, okay.
And yet they say so little.
What's that? Oh,
I can't be the only one who noticed this, right?
Legit, they say fucking nothing.
When the dialogue
they say absolutely nothing, bro.
Drags, which really sucks because this also happens during
just takes you out the game.
Storylines, which I really liked. Like, no matter what plot twist happens or what setup happens, everything has to be explained.
It's so
Exposition
annoying.
is like 80% of the dialogue.
It's so annoying.
What's crazy is that
Only
you can
mentioned
easily
indirectly?
cut the
Okay.
dialogue in half.
I was gonna say, I
The
feel like I
story
never
would
met.
stay,
I
and
never
in many
did a
cases,
hangout. You know.
It might even be better, because it would actually help with the pacing. In movies and entertainment media in general, there is a golden saying that separates good and bad storytelling. Show, don't tell.
Yeah.
A rule that tells
Very
the
true.
writers to show people what's going on and let them realize what's happening.
I like this
By
guy.
doing so, your
I like him
viewers
a lot.
engage with the story from the side of the beholder. In Genshin, this immediately gets thrown out the window when Paimon appears on screen.
Yeah.
And she explains
Yo, what's up, Barbado? Fist bump,
every
dog.
single tiny detail
How you feeling, brother?
might have missed with
Welcome in,
very
homie.
long and complicated sentences.
It's annoying.
Like, yeah, Paimon actually does have some great scenes in the story.
Like 2.5,
But
maybe
this
3.
is not one of her stronger sides. And in case Paimon is not available, my favorite case
Albedo, I
of
hope everything's
telling,
well, brother. It's been a
not
while. I hope you're
showing,
good, man.
is when the screen goes black and there is a text that pops up to tell you what's happening, like it's a silent movie from the 1920s.
That tilts me. That tilts me. In this scene, tries to explain that they have to put too much text in these panels, so you
What's
know you can
strange
reasonably
is
read
that
it. It's
is
gone.
obvious that
It's
the
gone.
writers on Hoyoverse
gone
are
already.
good. They are using proper setups and payoffs.
I got your answer,
So,
Albedo. We're reacting
are
to
they
something.
doing this just to give the game longer content? Well, unfortunately,
I think so. I think that's the whole point of it. I think the whole point of extending these dialogues tremendously is there's technically more content, even though it's not content. It's just filler story. Like, it's not like they're saying something that is important. You know what I mean? It's annoying. Yo.
things get a bit worse. Because you see, while the main story of Genshin literally has multiple days of raw, voice-acted conversations, it gets
One Piece is
quite
valid. It's
bad
also a
when
million
you
episodes,
realize
though.
that all the
Legitimately
side
a million
quests
episodes.
are not voice-acted. But
Yeah.
they still have the same kind of long conversations. So should you
That turns
venture
me off,
outside of the
honestly,
boundaries
I'm not
of the
gonna lie to
main
you.
story, get ready to read. A lot. And I mean a lot.
I'm good.
For many
I
of you,
ain't
this
reading it. I ain't
absolutely
reading it.
kills the pace, likely
Just
making
got
you
pizza
skip
and
the
I'm just
dialogue
gonna
and
head
then
out
look
and
for
watch
videos on
YouTube. Have a good
YouTube.
one. Yo, I love you,
what
brother.
happened. Or perhaps
The soundboard is broken. I gotta fucking take it off the routines, but I'm gonna give you your points back. I love you, man. I appreciate you. Eat a slice of pizza for me, dog. Sounds like a great fucking time. Mwah. Absolute legend.
you don't care at all and you do nothing. Leaving the poor cabbages sad because their history is quite cool. But you see, when it comes to the storytelling, there is even more things that we can mention.
Points back, never got
Such
mine
as
back. No, you did.
events.
You lying.
In my opinion,
You lying.
the FOMO is not as
Have a
bad.
good one, brother. You too, dog.
At least that's because the pros outweigh the cons. With all the events that come and go, the world actually feels alive. It simply wouldn't feel the same without them. But it's such garbage that actually important lore is locked behind these events. If it was just a side story, for example, like what happened during the lunar celebrations, then sure, you can have most of the story be the day-to-day casual jobs of your characters, while also having some important lore in the middle of it. I'm totally fine with that. But when the event itself is a core part of setting up the world, that's absolute garbage. For example, I have no idea who this guy is. I went through all the stories and then he just randomly appeared in the middle of an event and I'm supposed to know him? In my chat, people kept telling me that he's actually gonna spoil a really important part of the story.
I do think that locking behind like top tier, really important lore story behind time-gated events that you A, can't replay, or B, they don't have the cinematics in-game, which I guess I understand because they have so many events. That I don't like. But I do think there has to be some relevance to the story a little bit to make people play these type of events. So it's like I get it, and I don't get it. I don't like the way they do it, but I understand it. I wish they would adjust it, though. I wish they would 100% adjust it, without a doubt. Yo, Cyber Fist Bump, welcome in. Hi, how are you? How you feeling, Cyber? What's going on out here with the little thingy? I want to watch this through before I continue my work. Yeah, no, Wolfie, we're gonna bang out the whole video. It's like another 12 minutes left or whatever it is. I'm bad at math, but you know, Uninstalled Genshin just to reinstall it 2 days after giving my phone false hope. This man said, I almost cracked my addiction, but then I didn't.
And I'm just sitting here thinking, I just want to play the game. Not to mention that even after I finished the event where he appeared, because I had no context for his story.
Sidebar, I have been told about the Albedo event story since we've started playing. I know nothing about it. I know nothing about him. I haven't looked anything up. Everyone says it's the greatest event, like, story quest, and I still don't know anything about it. I have no fucking clue, truthfully. Just worked on some stuff. Oh, let's go. We love working on stuff. I don't really have an addiction anymore. It's just been in the background, only being open when big updates come out. No, I feel you. Genshin is in a rough spot, man. That's why we're watching this video. I agree.
If he spoiled anything, well,
it's a very decent quest.
So
just decent?
Events are great. The way they tell stories is awesome. But please, don't shove important lore into them. I missed 2 years worth of events, and apparently, some of that story was quite important. But you know what? Enough talking about the storytelling. Let's move on. As I continued on my adventure through the story, the game finally introduced the Spiral Abyss.
Of course you like it, because you're Albedo.
This is where I realized, I guess this is the end game. And so I set it up to be my goal.
Don't even get me started on this. This irks me.
The final floor of the Spiral Abyss. At which point, my viewers were like, yeah, good luck with that. Unless you're a whale, see you in 3 years. So, being the insane person I am,
you don't need to be a whale.
That I don't have to pull for anything. I decided to do it as a free-to-play player, which made me realize I had some planning to do. You see, it is true that at the beginning I got a bit lucky. My first ever pull gave me the look. Gameplay I liked very much, so I decided to carry him with me.
He's the reason we got into the game.
But the first banner that popped up when I was playing was for Hu Tao and Yelan, who are allegedly one of the best pyro carries in the game and one of the best hydro DPS supports. And I got them both within like 20 pulls of each other. And after them, I also got Bennett and the Water Boy, which gave me a pretty good meta comp.
Yeah, you're trolling.
So at that point,
bro started at a great time, legit. He started at the best banner of all of them.
Certainly didn't look like
and then had the greatest pulls ever in history.
Challenge is kinda stupid. Because what's the difference between whaling and just getting lucky?
Nothing.
The difference is none, to be
literally
exact.
nothing.
But I still had to plan around
Deluxe first 5-star on Noel banner.
Abyss
Skit, you know what's going on, Fizzbub. You know what happened here.
And even though my first team was really stacked,
I love that.
My second team was just random garbage. So if there was something I wanted to pull for, it would have to be for the second team.
To install what, Albedo?
At that point, I also realized that the gacha system is quite garbage. But I kinda accepted it for what it is, so at the end of the day, I'm kinda in.
That was you as well?
It's like going into the liquor store and complaining that they have booze. Regardless, it didn't take long, and I rounded up my second team.
Random garbage.
With my main carry there being Hu Tao. And even though this meant that I had 2 vape teams, I was happy. Until I hopped into the early floors to test out the team. And I was forced to see the truth. My eyes were forced open.
Same.
Hu Tao sucks. It is true that she is really powerful and that she is one of the best.
Hey, you know what? You can't blame him for saying this. I don't even need to hear his explanation, and I'll tell you first. Objectively, she's top tier DPS. Objectively, she is probably the best pyro DPS in the game. With that being said, I'd rather play with D-Luke, because she's frustrating. Like, she's just frustrating to play with. I know, get good, don't suck, put on a Zhongli shield, put on a Toma shield or whatever. Oh, excuse me, but she's annoying. Like, for me, her playstyle is just not for me, dog. Her playstyle is just not for me, but I get it. Like, this is such a hot take that's probably going to hate everyone. Everyone probably roast him in the comments, but I fucking feel him, bro. I absolutely feel him. Yo, Fistbone Rabbit, if you play her well, no, yeah, it's a play thing. Yeah, so I lost both my 50-50 on a banner. Sheesh, high risk, high reward. Without C1, she's kind of mid as well. Legit, yeah, C1 obviously makes her a million times better, but she's just like, she's just annoying to play, bro. I don't find fun in playing her. And it's not like I played bad Hu Taos. Like, I've been on cracked out Hu Taos. It's just not the most fun I've had with a character. So, I want to see what he says, though. Let's see what he says. Also, Rabbit, I hope you're having a great day. Appreciate you being here.
But my god, her gameplay sucks. To have optimal DPS, you have to charge attack and jump in the middle of the animation to interrupt it. Over and over and over.
Alright, this is a little bit of a beginner take.
The whole fight. People kept telling me, you know, it is what it is. To which I say, nay. That is not fun.
You don't need to do it. You don't need to do that. That is the super hyper elitist Genshin community kind of coming out on this homie. Does it make it more optimal? Of course. But you don't fucking need to do that. They're like, just charge attack, dog. You don't have to do the animation canceling, bro. It ain't that deep. You can, bro, you have a shield. If you have a shield, you could beat anything in this video game, including level 12 Spiral Abyss. You can. Genuinely, this is a very easy video game. So I understand criticizing her because her gameplay style is weird and might not be for everyone. But if this is the reason, it's like, I just don't like her. I just don't like playing as her. Not because you got to animation cancel. C1, you don't need it. The guy was brand new to Genshin at the stage. Yeah, pretty much.
I don't want to cancel animation my way to hell.
You have her and don't use the animation canceling? Yeah, it's not
into the garbage.
It's not needed.
Just
attack. I agree.
Yes, I am aware that I got lucky and I got her on my first attempt on the banner, but I don't like the gameplay. And if I don't like
Shielder won't get very healer,
I'm not playing it. Of course, this decision started a bit of an argument. And this argument made me realize that the Genshin community splits into two camps. Those who follow the meta guides and micro-optimize their DPS, and those who actually have free will and have fun with the tools Genshin
Average John Lee physical DPS.
And of course, one of these scams kept telling me that without
it does ascend under 50%, I believe.
No way I can do Abyss
under 50%.
well. Now again, this entire time I firmly believe that you don't have to pull for anything. And you can just really play whatever you want.
You can.
So I decided to rise a very stupid but glorious middle finger.
Tell me, Traveler.
I went on the internet and searched for Genshin DPS tier lists. Something no mortal should ever do. It was one thing to see Diluc lower on all the tier lists. That way he was perfect for me to play. But I also needed a carry DPS for the second team. Someone quite bad. Even better, someone who was designed to mainly be a support. Which is how my Candy Scary Challenge was born.
Oh god!
That you should play what you wanna play.
Oh god!
To prove that anything works.
This sounds horrible.
I decided to beat the game with her.
Oh.
Just like that, my final two teams were locked in place. But there was one more issue.
This sounds
Leveling
like a
up the
horrible
teams and farming artifacts was.
He did a hyper boom team with Candace.
But I needed every help I could
Carry
get.
Candace,
so
I would love to see that.
Weapons. My Diluc was using something usable, but Candace really needed some help.
It could suck, but I mean the game is easy, you know?
Time,
whatever you want to use, you could use.
Player, I had to pull on the weapons banner. Thankfully, there was one that had one of the best DPS claymores in the game,
Candace,
but also a really good DPS spear. Perfect for my two carries. So I started pulling. And oh boy, was it painful.
Yes.
Now, I wouldn't say that the weapons banners are a scam.
You're a liar. You're lying.
Most people
You're
say.
lying.
They work on the same formula as pulling for characters, except instead of getting 5-star characters, you get 5-star
this atrocious weapon banner?
In fact, the formulas are a bit more favorable towards the weapons. No, the reason why it sucks
also
is
change
because
title?
it is just
well, yeah, it's reacting and then Honkai Impact. That's what
getting
it says.
New weapons is simply not as transformative as getting new characters with entire new gameplay.
I love you, dog.
Unfortunately, things really sucked for me because this was the first time my luck ran out. My main goal was to get a good Claymore for Diluc. So of course, after I kept off my
weapon banner, that was really nice to me. Listen, it's a scam, bro. It's a scam. Yo, how does this do this golden luck?
Sure.
No, it's
not. I went
not.
out into the world and farmed more gems. And the next stream I returned to pull some more.
Oh my god.
Only to cap off my pity again. And then
my only 5-star guy was Staff of Homo. He got it back to back.
So yeah, it got bad. But with the pity system, at least this meant that the next weapon that would drop would definitely be the Claymore,
yeah,
right?
Sure.
Well, after a lot more farming, I kept off my pity again.
With the sauce.
But I didn't have enough to do my last 2 pulls. And this was on stream, and it was the last day of the banner.
Bro,
so I was forced into a dilemma.
$5.
Earlier during my adventure, someone who's insane actually gifted my account 500 gems. So what I could do is just go out into the world and farm for 2 hours while giving people really bad stream content. Or I could give people some good content, tap into the gems, farm it off stream later, get the Claymore, and continue with the story. So, that's what I did. And just to be fair, after the stream, I farmed the gems and I kept them on my account until the challenge was over. And literally on the next pull, I got my Claymore. So practically, it is all as if I stayed free to play. Technically, however, I spent $2 to give people content. Do I care? No, it's a stupid challenge that gave me too many 5 stars anyway. So pulling for weapons is garbage, but more importantly, it's just not satisfying.
$2 is
anyway,
nothing.
to get my team ready,
I spent $400 for a raid, and he's ashamed about $2.
Artifacts. For the most case, that was easy.
No, it's
not.
So
I thought.
Well, yeah.
See, yet again,
no, it's not.
I found a flaw. But this is a flaw that was very unique to me. Normal players will never face this. Up until this point, I never faced backseating before. Every time I played a game on stream before, I was fairly confident I knew more than my viewers.
Jesus.
In general, statistically, I am above average at most games. But Genshin was my first time experience. So I was looking for tips from time to time.
The backseating for artifact grinding is different. 100%.
I now understand why backseating sucks and why people hate it so much. In my case, it actually started with the story. At the beginning, to a new player, Genshin actually spits out a lot of names. Not only are there just many different characters by default, but you also have 3 enemy factions. The story that was supposed to be spread out over 2 years just falls on you like an avalanche. And there are also multiple villains with different motives. But throughout all of this, even though I was constantly mixing up the factions, and I kept confusing who's on whose side, I still had fun because the story was interesting.
Artifact grinding is not fun.
I enjoyed it.
There's nothing to enjoy.
That was an issue.
There's nothing to enjoy about depression, bro.
Wrong.
Bro, I won't help anyone new unless they ask for help.
By rushing the story.
No, I don't mind you guys helping, but like I know, like I watch bigger streamers and like the backseating, especially in Artifact and build.
Well, you should really have elemental mastery on that one. You shouldn't really go for the crit ratio because you know
like it's fucking crazy. Like I feel bad for the man. I do.
Even though
motherfuckers are going hard.
You can't rush a story in this game. Unless you skip through dialogue, you actually just consume the story at the pace at which it is presented to you. Like, what do you think I'm supposed to do? Sit down at home and think about what I just witnessed after every quest? For me, personally, it wasn't until Sumeru that things really clicked together. But for some people, that was too late and I was a lost cause.
It's too late, dog.
While I was having a blast.
Not quick enough.
I got backseated on
how
to consume the story
Fist bump, dog. How are you, B?
But that's not the only kind of backseating that happened to me. Obviously, there were some people who corrected me on how to play when it comes to the combat. To a certain degree, it was helpful when people pointed out the basics to me. But later on, some people just shoved facts into my face, which crumbled at the first moment I opened up the internet. And it was proven to me that yet again, on average,
I gotta do that.
I should be trusting my own instincts more. And you know, from time to time, I even like to troll the people who thought I was an absolute idiot.
Is that a good one? Is that a good weapon for her? Or is there anything else I can get better?
Yeah, this guy's funny, bro. I like him.
What's the catch?
See you next year. Got you, Albedo.
Can I just go and get it now?
Take it easy, dog.
How long does that one take? Long? 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Clueless. That's a lot. That's a lie.
Where do you buy it?
5 years.
2 weeks? Can I just get it?
Can I just get it?
Not get it?
I can't just do the thing? Stop, I still don't even have my R5 catch.
Yeah,
I'm too lazy.
What?
I'm too lazy to do it. Who wants $10?
Who
wants $10 to fish for me?
You can just buy these. What are you on about?
What are you on about?
And so, with my team gathered up and my weapons ready, the day came to prove everyone wrong. I unlocked the final level of the Abyss, and I went in with my scuffed team. On that day, originally I just wanted to stream some stories and maybe try the Abyss.
No, that is funny.
But instead, I ended up grinding the final floor of the Abyss for 5 hours.
He's a trooper using canvas. He is a trooper.
This was my own stupid challenge that was preventing 100%. Me from paying. It was the first time I faced that floor. And I have to say, I had an absolute blast. This was
just got so annoying.
No,
why, Riku? He's not making a good video right now.
In Genshin.
Also, how you feeling today, babe?
And it was awesome. It is true that around the 4-hour mark, I took a break for 30 seconds, and then I went right back in.
All his points are usually shit. He's pretty on point with this one, I'm not going to lie to you. This is my first video I've seen of his.
That is notorious for stalling time.
But this one's been pretty accurate.
My low DPS team
I'll recap in a minute for you, I got you.
But at the end, I did it. It was pain. It was suffering.
But it has deadpan face low clip.
I beat Spiral Abyss 12.
If you're playing this video game with a Candace DPS, I would have a deadpan face as well. You're using a Candace DPS, bro. I would hate my life. I just want 1.1 so I can spend money, so roll the same. We know it.
Left on the timer. And I was happy with it. You see, this entire challenge was stupid.
I love the 0 stars. That's beautiful.
But since all my characters were fully leveled up, I realized that from that point on, the only difference between 0 stars and 9 stars are artifacts. That's the only way you can raise your power. And you know what artifacts are about?
He benched Hu Tao. He deserves to get perma-banned from Genshin.
Yo,
I knew you were gonna like
that.
From
that point on, it's not that much of a skill issue.
It's not for everyone, you know.
It's just
skill
the case
issue.
of having enough DPS to do it on time. And that pure lack of damage comes from the artifact.
He got baited into that you have to jump to
my
use her.
0-star Abyss achievement became a little bit more impressive.
That's why he benched her.
When people checked out what artifacts I had, where more than half of them were at level 0, and my Dendro Traveler was in a wheelchair. Maybe that will give you some perspective.
Oh my god.
But yeah, what a stupid challenge that was. Don't do what I did. Speaking of artifacts, we are not done yet.
You just poor real Hu Tao players don't jump.
Journey, all of
real Hu Tao players wail. We get C1.
The absolute king of triggering me. You see, as someone new, one could argue that I didn't have a lot of time to farm artifacts, which meant that there would be a lot of artifacts that were not perfect, but which were incredible for me given the fact that I was a new player, right? It would not be unthinkable to comprehend that I didn't have 2 years of time to farm artifacts. That when I got an artifact with crit rate and crit damage, it was good enough for me. That it could be one that I could use really well. No, in the eyes of all of you, it was all mid. All artifacts are either perfect or mid. A flower with crit rate
this isn't the game's fault. That's just the community. I don't know.
Mid. A great pyro artifact? Well, that's not part of the set, so it's mid.
You can't blame Genshin for this.
There were times when I was really happy that I got a really good artifact.
Free to play.
Look at my chat.
Hey, listen, man.
Mid. And that
dog.
just sucked. But not as much as trying to catch butterflies on my phone. That's far worse.
Yeah, that point I don't know how I feel about that. That's not really I mean, like, look, overall I enjoyed the video. I think I was expecting more, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like most of the video was kind of just like him talking about the filler that the story gives, which is 100% accurate. I mean, like, we all know that Genshin is notorious for adding legitimate essays to their content for no reason. But I feel like other than that, like, he complained about the story. And that last point was pretty kind of, I think that was kind of stupid, because it's like, well, you can't blame the game for getting mid artifacts. It's if you like the artifact and it's working for your build, that's dope. The toxic part of the Genshin community, where if it's not a fucking elemental mastery, or if it's got defense or whatever the fuck, like telling you it's mid, that's on you. I'm fucked up to say, but that's on your chat and that's on the people you're around. Like, you know, that's not the game's fault. I really wish he would have spoke about the fact that there's legitimately no endgame. Spiral Abyss is not an endgame. Honkai Star Rail has more of an endgame than Genshin. It's been out for like a month. You know, like that's something I wish you would have spoken about. The gameplay loop. I guess since he's newer, I mean, he doesn't understand like the characters that were rolled out through Sumeru. Their philosophies have been pretty fucking dog shit with those characters. They have to be 6/6 to be good. You have to play them a specific way. Fucking Dia, fuck you. You know, like I just felt like there was some stuff missing. I mean, it was a W video though, definitely a W video. But he seems to have been baited by a lot of the hardcore Genshin players that are really annoying and toxic. You know what I mean? Would you say, Rico, whining about stuff the OGs have already complained about for years? It's a useless video. I expected more. I'm not gonna lie. I really did. I saw a few big content creators react to this. I'm like, oh, this guy's probably gonna drop some bombshells. It wasn't a bad video. Like it was well thought out. But it's like, you know, I wish someone would really address like the downfall. Like, dude, fucking Sumeru. After that Scaramouche quest, nothing. And I know it's like that with the other game. I mean, the other patches and shit. And I'm not shitting on the game anymore going forward. Unless Fontaine is absolute dog shit. This is the last time I'm discussing Genshin and my opinion on it. But, I mean, we're still going to play it, obviously. But, like, I really wish we would have gotten into the philosophies of, like, how they're making these characters mid on purpose. It's annoying. You know? Like let's talk about that. Let's talk about the fact that there's no end game. Let's talk about the fact that the R&R or whatever the fuck it's called quest is 7 hours long. You need that to do Yoimiya. I mean, granted, he wouldn't be aware of that, but like shit like that, that's something we could talk about. Just saying like, well, pretty much the story is long and there's filler. It's like, thanks, I knew that, you know. It was alright though. It was a W video. It was cool.